Okay, Joe, let me show you how to do this again. Plus, there's a little bit of difference since YouTube has changed the size of all the pictures. I almost always have to go in and resize the screenshot because I can't get the whole thing in there. So the first thing I do, and your program may be different. You may be able to see the whole picture, and if you can, that's fine. But if you can't, you'll have to go into resize first. That says 960, which is not usually what I see. Let me make this. I just practice with numbers. I just want to get it small enough that I can see the whole thing, and that's just not. I mean, I don't have to have the bubbles showing. Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes your layout obscures it anyways. The label I want lower. I'll show you that in a minute. I have to make this a little bit smaller, and let's just make it 800. I'm just doing this on mine. That does not mean that's what you'll be using on yours. I'm working what's for me. Okay, this is plenty for me to have. Now this is the picture you sent me, okay? I don't need the charms and the potions to show on the sides. So this I need to have cropped out. Okay? And I leave enough of the pole or the tree or go beside the rope so they can see. But, you know, so they can see if they don't have charms and they're doing bank shots, they need to see part of whatever it is they're bouncing off of. So let's start. Try to get as much of the ceiling as you can. As you see, I've scrolled above so that you don't see any of that stuff above. You're just getting the bubbles in the ceiling. I start down here and I miss those potion and bubbles. I go down here to the bottom of my screen and go all the way over to this portion. Okay, there's still a little bit there. And you crop. And this sometimes does happen, but if it does, and you see that it happens, make another one right away without it. If not, we just keep it in there. I've done it myself. So now we've cropped the picture. This is exactly how we like it. To write our text, I want it down here. Okay, now this is smaller because I've been writing on other things. Now, I'm going to back up. I'm trying not to go too fast. I'm sorry, Joe. I want to make this as easy as possible. Notice that our text is Arial. If it's not in Arial, you can change it. In fact, I'm going to go to this one because it's even more bold. You want to make sure you're using a bold number. This is very thin, it's small, and you can't see it. Now, so Peter wanted us to use Arial. I'm changing to Arial Black. Now, for me, Arial works out fine in thickness, but it doesn't for everybody else. I don't know why everybody else's is different, but I didn't change this. I need to change the font size to 48. Okay? Now I'll make my new mark. That has it in there. I'll move it down a little so it won't cover yours, and you can see the difference. Aha! That's alright. It'll work out. So this picture was EI. I'm sorry. You also have to change the color. It's easy to make mistakes and they're easy to correct. EI 51 2. Do you see the difference? See the difference? This is what your label should look like. This is too small and it's too fine. It's not a 48 font. The diagram is good. There's nothing wrong with your diagram. It's perfect. Now that we've labeled it, we've cropped it, all of the diagram is written in there. And as a matter of fact, you didn't even have to mark the crystals, but I'm glad you did because they are kind of hard to see in here. And it was a good idea to do this. The reason I point that out is you don't have to mark all of them. However, you missed two, and if you mark some, you have to write all of them in there. So in this particular instance, now I didn't do this in the last picture I sent you. I'm not going to keep it in there. You don't have to draw a circle, it's just one. You've already made, now see how thick that line is? Everything is fixed easily. I can go back and refresh if I'm not going to. Here's the size of our lines, okay? You can change the size of your lines. This should be close enough. Close enough. Besides, I'm not sending this picture to you. I've already got one to send to you. I'm just mentioning this because I didn't see it the first time either. There. Don't have to make a circle. You did lines here, do it here. You don't want it too busy. Now we're done with this picture. The only thing we have to do is resize it to 500 pixels wide. Click on resize. Go into your pixels. That would be horizontal is your wide, and you write in 500. Completely disregard this number. I could care less about this number. This is all I want. Horizontal, 500 pixels. That's all you have to have written in there. Click on OK. Click on Save. And your picture is ready. Okay? So, I'll send this off to you with everything else, and I hope it helps. Please ask me questions if you have them, or if you have problems or you don't understand. Thanks.